He's raising the issues that need to be raised, but I have to make a decision on which way to go. And he's putting it, in a sense, out there. But in a way, he'd already resolved it in his own mind because he'd been in the Congress for so long and in the Senate. He understood how party politics and how the structure. He feels, the last time I interviewed him, one of the topics we discussed was how he feels that people really don't understand the actual workings of Congress and that he himself didn't understand it, before he went to Congress, how things actually operate. So he's had a unique perspective as an activist to be at least a participant and in the room when the actual sausage is made, when power is actually leveraged. And he's been part of various coalitions. He's created some, and he's been a party to others, and therefore he feels he has a certain kind of unique knowledge among leftists as to how the mechanics of power operate in America.
So do you think that's sort of how he's applying his thoughts on F-35?
Sure. Well, but although that, goes even deeper, the F-35 is he avoided talking about it for a long time. He knew it was an issue, but his main strategy, which is a typical, in a way, politician strategy, is you don't talk about issues if you don't have to. He learned that very early. So oftentimes you can sort of understand where he's going by listening to what's not being said. So oftentimes he would be approached by journalists at various events. Some people I knew, they were reporting back to me, and they say, well, what about the F-35? There's no problems in Burlington. He would just sort of like slough it off, right, for as long as he could. And finally he had to go on the record, and so he went on the record with the establishment, with Leahy, who is really in control of this process, Patrick Leahy, of the F-35, and basically said, it's state of the art, it's coming, it's a done deal, there's no point in trying to fight it, and it is a state-of-the-art machine, and it'll save jobs. Jobs is often important to him, but also the other piece of it was he has quite a affection for being at the cutting edge of technology. He likes the idea of Vermont as a model, Vermont leading the way. So that is his reason for inviting Sandia, which is a kind of a subsidiary of Lockheed, Sandia Laboratories, into Vermont to set up a technology laboratory, to have an extension lab of Sandia, at the same time that the plane was being made.
That's interesting, the technology thing.
He likes the idea of being a model for the country, of being at the head of the curve, to setting an example, creating a replicatable model, which is difficult for him now in terms of single payer and Medicare for all, because it was tried in Vermont and so far hasn't worked. You haven't been able to.
So he can't point.
So he can't. And he doesn't really come to Vermont. He doesn't come to Burlington often, because if you get into the weeds of these issues of Medicare for all, or of the F-35s, or of waterfront development, or of development in Burlington, if you actually penetrate beyond the surface history, you see the conflicts that exist in all of these issues.
So that's what I want to